Hello everyone, it is November 19th. Can you believe it? One more week, less than a week until Thanksgiving, and then Christmas is around the corner. And now we get on to what have I been doing? Where have I been? Well, I have been up to here in making Afghans. I think my last video, I'll have to go back and check it, showed the spring fling that I did in the dark colors with a lot of black. But I have since done the Sophie's Universe and another spring fling. The spring fling I just finished on Friday night. I did it in 13 days. That's like a new record for me, making one of those. But I was really pushing it out. And so I'm going to show you first the picture of the Sophie's Universe right here. Okay, and then the spring fling that I just finished, I'll put it right here. And among all that stuff, I also did a Zabez piece, his latest one, and I can put that right here. Okay, so I still have the spring fling with me, so I thought I'd just show you a little close-up of it, so hold on just a second. Now these things weigh about 5 pounds when you're done, if you're using 4-weight yarn. And one thing I did, there's a part of it where you're building new corners because it is an octagon for a long time, and then you turn it into a square. And when you do that, there are lots of rows of little flowers, and usually I have done those rows in solid colors, but Red Heart had a colorway called Melonberry, which they don't make anymore. And so I've been on the lookout for a yarn that kind of was similar, and haven't found it yet, but I found something I thought I could use. And that is this Big Twist, and the colorway is Warm Brights. Now there's a little too much orange in it for me, but that's what I used. So all the little flower buds on the new corner rows are in Warm Brights. And so let me show you this. And the edging roses are done in Red Heart Super Saver Grenadine. So you can see how the color's changing in there. And that's the Warm Brights. And this is the new corner work. And let me see if I can kind of show the rest of it. Ugh, it's so huge. Okay, so that is that one. Now let me get the Sophie's Universe. Okay, let's talk about Sophie's Universe. Now with the spring fling, I always use a 5.5 millimeter hook, but with the Sophie's Universe, I went to a 4 millimeter hook. And the reason was because I think the original design is with like number 2 yarn, maybe number 3. And she was using a 3 millimeter hook, and I thought, oh my gosh, this thing is going to be huge if I use a 5.5. So I went to a 4, and that made it really tight. It almost reminded me in places of amigurumi. It just so tight. And I'm just going to show part of it. It also weighs about 5 pounds. So let's see. So here's the border. Let's see. And then it's got this filet crochet section. And let's see, I'm just going to try to show it the best I can. But anyways, I hate to say it, but I kind of lost interest in that one. And I just sort of had to put my nose down to the grindstone and just push it out. And so I did. Probably I won't make that pattern again. You never know, but I probably won't. Whereas the Spring Fling, that one is my 10th one. So I don't have a need to make another Spring Fling right now, but I might make one just anyways. We'll see. I'm not in any hurry. Okay, so that's what I've been doing with crochet. I did order a huge amount of yarn in October, and I've already gone through, because of these two Afghans, I've gone through a huge amount. Well, like 10 pounds worth of yarn. Including I ordered 18 skeins of white, and that's in the Loops and Threads, whatever that new, it switched over from Craftsmart to Loops and Threads. So I ordered the white, and I really like it. What can I say? I just like it. So yeah, I had so much yarn. I managed to get it into the space that I have for yarn. And now I've got 36 more skeins coming that I've got to put into that space, but I should be okay. Plus, I've got this one young gal, I think she's like maybe 11 or 12, and she is the granddaughter of my landlady's, one of the gals who comes to help her housekeep. So she has come the last couple times. I gave her my last Zabez piece, and I said, well, do you want to learn to crochet? And she was very, very excited and wants to learn to crochet. So I will probably give her some of that yarn that I just ordered, and it comes with it like a Susan Bates hook, and so she can have that if she wants it, and maybe some other little doodads. But we'll see. She was supposed to come yesterday, but they canceled for some reason. And now the grandmother's coming on Wednesday, and the son, who does a lot of gardening for us, for the landlady, doesn't do any for me, he's coming on Wednesday too. Which is kind of, man, I wish they had come yesterday, because on Friday, I went to the nursery and got 11 bags of 2 cubic feet of acidic soil, and it's still in the car because I can't lift one of those bags. They're just way too heavy. I don't know what they weigh, maybe 60 pounds, 65. I can't lift them. So yeah, I still got 11 bags in the car. Can't get them out. Anyhow, I could probably get out a couple of them. I'll just slide them out onto the car, onto the rolling little thing we have, and I could probably get them, a few of them in, not all of them. Anyhow, yeah, I wish he had come on Saturday. Now I have to drive around with those things in the car. Speaking of gardening, I got a couple of new plants. One of them is a rose bush, and it is a Julie Andrews rose. And this one is a tea rose, and it came to me with lots of leaves on it, but wasn't blooming. And right now the first little bud is starting to form, so I can't wait to see it. Anyways, I'm going to put a picture of the plant right here. And then when I went to the nursery on Friday, I also picked up an azalea, which is pink, will have pink blossoms, but it's not blooming currently. So here's a picture of that. And then, because I'm in Southern California and things never really stop growing here, wouldn't you know, my tomatoes are going crazy right now. And I've got lots of tomatoes that are coming through. I've got some little cherry tomatoes that are coming out, and some of my bigger tomatoes are coming out, and I redid one of the raised beds and I put 3 tomato plants in there, and they're in their cages, and they are going to town and have tomatoes on them already that are starting. So here's a picture of the tomato plant I started on my counter last year. Last year it only gave me 2 tomatoes and the critters got to one of them, but I got the big one. And so right now they are smaller, a little bit smaller than golf balls, the tomatoes on it. So anyways, here's a picture of that. And then all our citrus fruit trees have fruit on them. So let me see, I'm having to do this to my head without looking at the pictures. The Kaffir Thai lime, this is the fruit on it. They look kind of lumpy and bumpy, and that fruit is right now about golf ball size. And then I have my key lime, and it did have a bunch of fruit on it, and I picked it all off when it was very small because I wanted it to focus more on growing rather than putting its energy into producing fruit, but it is determined to produce fruit. So this is a new little fruit that is on it, and there's a whole bunch of little fruitlets that are barely starting, and this one's not even marble sized. So that's that. Then we have our Meyer lemon, which has several lemons on it, and they are nice and yellow now. So we haven't picked any yet, but we could go ahead and pick them if we wanted. And then my, my Satsuma, Owari Satsuma mandarin, orange. Those are golf ball sized. They haven't started to turn orange yet. I kind of wonder if I'm slightly seeing something. And then I forgot to take a picture of my finger lime, Australian finger lime. Maybe I have a picture somewhere. Let me see if I can find a picture somewhere of the Australian finger lime, and I'll put that right here. Those little finger limes, I don't know how big they're supposed to be. These are pretty small. They're just, the biggest ones are barely over an inch, and I'm not seeing any continued growth in them. So I'm just thinking maybe this is just the first year that they're fruiting, and so they're not going to get real big the first year. Maybe next year they'll be bigger. But it's interesting. There's a whole bunch of them on there, and I have to repot that because it probably has outgrown its pot, but even more so when the professional gardeners came through with their weed whackers. The weed whackers actually cut through the plastic pot. So I have some more heavy duty pots to put it in, and I'll be doing that pretty soon. Need for the clouds to come back. Right now we just have no clouds around. So, and let's see. Oh, and because things are always blooming around here, here's a few of the flowers that are currently blooming. And my little pansies, which you'll see, have never stopped growing. They just keep growing and growing. So, I don't know. they're not so seasonal. They might be a little more perennial than they get credit for. Anyhow, I think that's about it for this video, and I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving and just enjoy time with family and friends, and I will talk to you again. Bye-bye.